Any advice for dating a woman in a long-term, ethical, non-monogamous relationship? Well, does that mean you're also non-monogamous, or are you monogamous and you're jumping in with a chick who's got a boyfriend or a broad or whatever? Don't date women. Yeah, that's always an option, I suppose. I don't really know. I mean, it's like this very variable question, right? I mean, it's just kind of up to whatever you're comfortable with. I don't really know if there's any broadly applicable advice. Life is complicated and different people want different things, you know. But you gotta communicate. You have to be open to communication.
On the topic of non-monogamy, I agree with your opinion that legal polygamy has some really nasty consequences. Do you think that extends to civil unions?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on this. I do think there's some legitimacy to the idea that it is innately socially stabilizing for the state to encourage people to pair off. But at the same time, like, I go back and forth on this. From a personal liberty angle, it seems really fucking stupid that the state should be weighing in on people's lives like that. Like, fuck you. The government shouldn't get to put an incentive lever on people being, you know, monogamous or what kind of relationships they have. Like, if I reject the idea that marriage should only be for straight people because the state benefits from incentivizing that kind of union, how can I accept the idea that the state should be prioritizing monogamous relationships? It doesn't really make sense. But at the same time, like, historically, polygamy, not polyamory, but polygamy, was really destructive. Like, the social consequences of allowing the wealthy and powerful men to hoover up a bunch of wives in every village led to there being a perpetual underclass of poorer men who had no chance of ever having a wife and were basically, like, consigned to a permanent servitude in the form of, like, being a soldier or like a work slave, basically. Like, they could never pair off and even make a family. It was a very bad system. And of course, it wasn't great for the women. Oh, we're centering the men in this? Okay, yeah, but everyone's hot take is like polygamist relationships are bad for women. I'm coming at it with a new perspective. It's bad for men, too.
It sucks cause keeping it just social denies the legitimacy that, say, mixed race or same-sex marriage got from being explicitly legalized and defended by the state.
I agree. I talked about it. I talked about the inconsistency with which we regard this sort of stuff. Yeah, no, it's really important to keep in mind. I'm just trying to focus on this.
I feel like the only resolution would be to delegitimize marriage, which is like the greatest uphill battle ever cause it's literally the oldest institution.
Yeah, I don't really know, I guess. If maybe, like, tax benefits shouldn't be tied. I'd be interested in learning, like, what benefits marriage offers in other countries. Is it like, does every country on Earth give you a tax benefit if you're married? There's probably a lot of variance, right? Like, maybe that's the most common thing that happens, but in some cases that's not what happens? I have no idea. I'm not anti-marriage in the sense that I don't think people should be able to. I guess I'm just kind of, like, critical of the state's role in legitimizing the practice.
Marriage has always confused me. It's like the hacker address meme. It feels like the government giving me a piece of paper saying I love my partner a lot. Why label it?
Well, the government benefits from incentivizing stable relationships, right? In general, the government wants, like, citizens to be productive and tax-paying and, you know, blah-de-blah. Of course, this obviously isn't really, like, a coherent ideology. For example, why would China simultaneously encourage heterosexual marriage, but also have a one-child-per-family limit? Do you want children or not? Like, if your goal is to incentivize productive relationships, why insist only on the heterosexual element, you know? Like, that's more childbearing, but you don't care about maximizing children's births. You're discouraging people or outright banning people from having them after the first one. Mandatory state-sanctioned gay marriage. Gay marriages do, on average, tend to be higher IQ and more economically prosperous. I don't know, I plan on staying single forever because I enjoy it. Okay, Athena's taught. Now listen, I'm not coming after you personally. I'm doing this to demonstrate a point. Out of curiosity, how old are you?
What I mean is like, what's the deal with making it official on the ground level? What about state recognition makes your relationship feel more valid?
Well, I think it's the extent of the mutual commitment, right? It's kind of like moving in together, or buying a house together, and it's just sort of like a representation of the extent to which you're willing to bet your chips, which I think is reasonable, even without buying into the whole mythology of state reinforced marriage. You can still understand the value of that kind of commitment, I guess. Did that person who I was prodding answer when I asked how old they are? Did we get an answer to that, or was this being left forever a mystery? No, they did not? Okay, so 18. The expectation...
I am Polly, to me. The relationship feels as special as it gets. Grand rituals and gestures don't make it feel any more committed to me. I prefer the small things.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that I think as long as humans are what humans are, people are going to want marriage or something like it. I guess I'm more critical of some people's expectations or biases, but, you know, nothing against it. I've really softened on the topic since meeting my partner. Used to be a little bit more militant and political about non-monogamy. Not to say I'm not or whatever, just, you know, love is in the air. It's okay, Thana. Honestly, chat's been so much better about spoilering, or not spoilering, or whatever else, recently than they used to. I think it's certainly improved over time, so I'm not gonna complain too much. I still really appreciate all the effort that you and the other mods went through to make the Outer Wild streams doable. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Jesus. The spoilers were so bad in the Shadow of the Earth stream. Thankfully, it's pretty difficult to really spoil the FromSoft games because, like, you know what the game is going to be on a foundational level, right? You know the game is going to end with some sick-ass nude, you know, Zanzibar the Broken or whatever, Aura lore walking towards you, farming Aura. I'm not going to play Hades 2 on stream, guys. A game like that, I'm probably going to want to achievement farm. I'm going to want to get the gold trophy, and I have no interest in engaging in that kind of long-term gamer autism on stream. I want the games we play to be a little more perfunctory than that. No roguelikes. Are you enjoying the difficulty of Silksong? Yes, very much so. Whoa, wait, everyone, wait, again? Is this a glitch, or? Okay, hold on, probably not a glitch. Just a longer arena. No, I'm enjoying the difficulty very much. I was very happy to see that they amped the opening difficulty up. So, they amped the opening difficulty up quite a bit from Hollow Knight, and I think they had to. I think that was the right move. I think the game would have been a lot worse if they had not really leaned into the expectation.
I am Polly. I know you have probably not talked to her in a long time, but you should talk to Shoe. It sounds like she is in an echo chamber and spiraling. People are saying she is leaving the left, but she says she does not want to.
I'm really sorry, but you guys really overestimate the hold that I have on June's life. I have not spoken to her in a very long time. I can't be indefinitely responsible. I can't be forever implicated, guys. Haven't you drifted out of touch with people before? I definitely wouldn't, like, be opposed to talking to her in the future. But if I did, it wouldn't be on stream. I'd probably be like, how you doing? How are things? That was a crazy tweet? Question mark? I'm not Steven Universe. Oh, fuck.
I know you haven't talked to her in a long time, but you should talk to Anna Kasparian. It sounds like she is in an echo chamber. People are saying she is leaving the left, but I am saying you can fix her.
Probably about as good of odds there, I imagine. Thank you.
I guess what I mean is, she does not seem to have left-wing friends anymore and it could help. I like you both. She is who introduced me to you. You moved me left.
Well, that's very sweet, and I appreciate that. Yeah, like, you have to think about it, pragmatically, right? Because, like, what the fuck? My having been friends with Shoe aside... Oh, it bounced me up. My having been friends with Shoe aside, you can't really reach a person by messaging them and being like, hey, just organically sliding my way into your life again. By the way, you seem to be, you know, getting some hate for a recent take of yours. I have been deployed by my community to talk to you about it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would be sort of underhanded a little bit, and also very transparent. Anyway, I'm not trying to be belligerent or anything. I disagree with her tweets. I think they're dumb as fuck.
Assassins. Have you read the recent Berserk manga pages?
I have not,
If you have any opinion on the direction after Kentaro's passing?
I have not, and I really should too, because again, without spoilers, considering the gravity of what happened recently in the story, I am really curious, like, what the story's even going to be about, like what direction the story's going to take tonally. I don't want to be spoiled on it. I also do feel a little bit dumb talking about not spoiling a manga that's been going on for 500 years. Like, if you aren't following what's going on in Berserk, I guess I'm not as of the past year or so, but, like, you ought to know, right? I won't spoil anything, but it's def interesting. Trend is falling down. The people being happy Kirk is dead is proof the left is evil and a cult, while also speaking about how they need to find a positive community. Yeah. I don't... God damn it. Really, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you can run down this, like, okay, do you think it would be bad if people celebrated that Hitler killed himself? No, I don't think that'd be bad, but Charlie Kirk isn't Hitler. Okay, but now we've established the fact that if a person is bad enough, it's okay to celebrate their death. Alright, so how bad would a person have to be before that's acceptable? Well, worse than Charlie Kirk. Okay, well, let's talk about the beliefs Charlie Kirk had and the potential harm that it had, and, like, see whether or not you think that validates those feelings. First of all, we agree that in a free society that it's okay to accept and celebrate people's death, right? What about, like, Imam Soleimani? What if, like, Kim Jong-un of North Korea died? Do you think it'd be bad then? Do you acknowledge the fact that, like, it's possible for a person to celebrate a death but still be in favor of, like, humanity and empathy and stuff? Sometimes, like, celebrating a death comes from an empathetic perspective because you think that person has caused so much harm in the world around you. How did I die so quickly? Like, if you take that approach and talk to people, like, you can run them down the correct train logically, but most of the time people are not, like, being logical. Right? You know, like, okay, so, what about celebrating the death of, like, any random SS officer, right? Like, any random SS officer might personally have not committed that much harm. Like, obviously, in a comparative sense, any random SS officer, is really bad, but, like, relative to Hitler, like, okay, if we establish that, like, a random SS officer who is not anywhere near as bad as Hitler, their death can be celebrated, how acceptable do you think it is to be blasé or celebratory about the death of people who have not committed much material harm themselves, but nonetheless represented bad ideologies? Or how about this? Do you think it's okay for people to be blasé about or celebrate the death of George Floyd? George Floyd was not a great person. Like, we know that about his life. But he didn't deserve to be murdered by police. But because he wasn't a great person, a lot of people are, like, super, you know, a lot of people on the right have been, like, really excited about, or, like, excitable about his death. Do you think they're principled in that opposition? Like, do you think they're equally excited about or celebratory of the death of all, like, petty criminals and generally bad people? Or do you think there's some other thing motivating their behavior there? Like, basically, what are the ethics of being blasé about death? I need to not talk about this because it's keeping me from focusing on the fight. Anyway, my point, essentially, is that it's possible to run down this train, but none of it means anything if the person doesn't have, like, rational reasons for believing what they do in the first place. You fuckers have no idea what you've done. Neo supremacist. K-on warlord. I am racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, xenophobic, fatphobic, ableist, anti-Semitic, ageist, classist, pedophobic. You fuckers have no idea what you've done. Charlie Kirk was the last wall holding back the Hyperborea revival. The day of the rope is coming. I was making the exact same meme just now, Keck. Hee hee hee. Great minds and whatnot. Yay! And this person's Indian. But this is the... just please keep this in mind, okay? I had the same idea, but I fumbled it because I had time at the gym, lol. A few others have told me that too. The idea floated through the ether and entered our minds simultaneously. Listen, I'm not giving you guys permission to be Indian phobic or anything. I'm just saying that on Twitter specifically, you have to keep a few things in mind, all right? Look, for a long time, the rest of the world has had to deal with the fact that if you go on the internet, it's overwhelmingly dominated by English-speaking Americans and Western Europeans, right? Like, there was a period of time during which if you were one of the early people on the internet in Africa or Southeast Asia or whatever, you had to deal with the fact that a bunch of the usable internet was, like, English-speaking. We're just living in a different era right now, okay? That's all. We're just living in a different era, and you have to keep that in mind. And they back then were warning you, hey, keep in mind, you're going to see a lot of dumb fuck American opinions if you go looking at the English-speaking internet, and now we have to... I'm just saying.